These three things are killing the growth and spread of classical music today. Recently, some pretty successful music YouTubers have put out videos detailing the ongoing struggle they have with publication companies. So I thought it'd be helpful to make a video specifically about classical music to detail some of the struggles we have, some of the things that are killing classical music, from publishers to recording companies to copyright holders, and also just general bad attitudes. More on that later. Now, if you're a regular on the channel, this is going to be a little different than my typical video that's normally pretty educational or talking about a really cool piece of classical music, but this is more Ryan just going to share my heart with some things I think is really holding back classical music from being way more widespread. The first thing I really see killing the love of classical music today is going to fall on the shoulders of the rights holders. So recording companies, publishers, maybe concert halls in some cases, people who own the rights to recordings and videos of classical music. I want to take you on a short history lesson way back to the old days of YouTube about 10 years ago. There was a time where you used to watch ESPN, that's a sports channel, top 10 plays of the week. These are going to be 10 crazy plays from around the world in sports, like cool things that happen. And you would see a baseball player leap over a wall to catch a home run, or you'd see a football player do a flip, or you'd see Steph Curry like shoot a 40-foot three-point shot to win the game. And then they would show a soccer play from a European soccer league, and you could hear their voices saying, "This was the craziest free kick." And the whole time they're talking, the screen would be blanked out because they weren't allowed to show the clip, because they didn't have the rights to play those soccer highlights on YouTube, at least in America. And I honestly know nothing about the legal proceedings behind the scenes. You can tell me down in the comments if you know. I don't know. But what I do know is I had no chance of falling in love with soccer because my sports consumption was, what were the top 10 plays today? It was a couple-minute video and it was fun to watch. And there was 2 times in the video where soccer was blanked out. Now, I'm guessing you can kind of see where I'm going with this, and I apologize ahead of time for the rant because it really does annoy me. But we sometimes say things like, "Oh, there's this definitively best recording of Beethoven's 3rd and 5th concertos performed by Zimmerman with Bernstein conducting like 40 years ago." That's great. But also every week around the world, someone's performing the 5th concerto, and there's no like immediate access. There's not this access for people to say like, "Oh, do you see that crazy thing Longlon did yesterday?" Never in history have there been so many great piano players touring the world all the time. But you don't see their recordings. You can purchase them sometimes, but there's not this daily excitement of like, did you see what that person did last week? They gave a concert and they did this faster than I've ever seen this done before, or they did this more dramatic or slower, or listen to this crazy interpretation, or she put these 3 pieces together which are never paired together and it was so interesting and made such a cool performance. Rather, we hide all that stuff behind the paywall of going to the concerts. Now, I appreciate it's their right to hold on to stuff, right? It is in their right. But I think what they think is if they put recordings out too often, people won't want to go to concerts. People say, "Well, I heard him play that. I don't need to go to the concert hall to hear that." Now, that could be possible in some cases, maybe, but I think they missed the mark so far in this one. Look at any popular pop musician. They just put their recordings out there, people listen to them, and they still fill up giant concert halls because people heard their songs. They're excited to go listen to it. And in fact, their music is almost exactly the same in the concert as it was on the recording, where it's like the piano player is going to give a unique live performance of it, right? So there's even less value in hearing it again at the concert. But they go to the concert because they love the songs they heard. They loved them, they sang them, and they went to the concert. I think another really good example that proves my point is musicals. Broadway is putting on, and other production companies, these huge, expensive productions of musicals all the time. But they don't want to show clips. I mean, you might be lucky to find like a scene someone recorded on their cell phone illegally seen in the audience, right? But they don't want to release the clips because they're afraid if you see them, you might not want to go and pay a lot of money for the tickets at the show. And that might happen sometimes. But think about what happens when they do start releasing promotional material. Like Wicked stuff a year or 2 years ago start being released to promote the movie. They're like, "Hey, let's take a song, one of the famous Elphaba songs, and have one of the people who played her at one point in Broadway like sing it." Or they had a compilation of 4 of them together singing a song. And those videos did so well, and people are like, "This is really exciting." Then they're like, "A movie's coming out. I should go see that movie because these songs are good." The songs have been good for 20 years, but until this point, you could listen to the songs. But if you want to see the songs with the video, you had to like watch someone's cell phone recording it. It looked terrible and like cheaply made because again, it was someone recording it, kind of like trying to not let anyone see them in the audience, right? Now, what I'm not saying is that these companies don't have the right to hold on to them. What I'm saying is it would be really helpful to share it, that if we had current news, that people could say, yeah, did you see what happened yesterday? Did you see what happened last week? All right. Rant over. That's enough for point number one. Let me move on to point number two, the second thing that I think is really hurting classical music today. And this really revolves around how point number one affects people like me. All of you who are watching this video right now are doing so on YouTube. I know, big surprise. And you know it would be great if there was more quality videos about the stuff you love. Like if you're into knitting, don't you want there to be videos coming out about knitting so you can go to YouTube and watch them? If you're into sports, don't you want there to be consistent videos about the sport you love so you can watch them? If you're into classical music, wouldn't it be great if there were just more freedom for people to put out videos that you loved about the topic you love? If you're new here and haven't watched one of my videos before, what I often do is talk about some great piece of classical music. I want to show you something really cool that I love and I think you'll love it too. But I can't go find a great recording by a great, really well-known pianist and confidently play a long section of that in the video. So what I end up doing is playing it some myself. Now, I'm competent in piano. I have a master's degree in piano performance, so I know what I'm doing, but I can't put out as many videos if I have to learn the stuff I'm doing first. And also, wouldn't it be really fun if I just did a video where I said, here are 3 current really famous people who have played this piece. Let's talk about how this person sped up a little in the development section. Let's talk about how they did their trills from the upper note and not the lower note. Let's like listen to them and hear how the pedals use more here or there. But if I do that, I'm just walking right into tons of copyright issues, and I just don't want to deal with it. I mentioned the YouTubers at the beginning of the video, the famous people who put out videos talking about this. They've mentioned dealing with like 24 emails a day with copyright claims on their channel, or like hiring a lawyer to deal with these issues. I can't do that right now. I really don't want to do that right now. I don't want my life to be about like battling publishing companies. So I just play stuff on my own. But wouldn't it be cool to have more current stuff to talk about? So you could click on YouTube tomorrow and see more videos where people are being supported. Sometimes these videos exist, but all the money is being siphoned off by the publishing companies because they put a copyright claim on the video, which again, they might have the right to do depending on the video. But wouldn't it be cool if people were making like a full-time living, making cool videos about the thing you love so you could enjoy watching more of the thing you loved? Now, before I close out point number 2, I want to share something with you that is equally hilarious and infuriating. Like I mentioned, sometimes before I film a video, I want to talk about something I haven't personally played, but I've listened to or I know some of the cool stuff in it. So I sit down and take some time to work on it so I can at least demonstrate certain measures. I rarely will learn the whole thing. I've never studied it before, like, for a weekly video, just pick up a brand new Appassionata Sonata, but I'll learn a few of the key measures that really demonstrate the points I want to make. And then I will play them on limited practice on my piano, which I might not have even tuned recently. And then YouTube will say, oh, see, you stole Andre Schiff's recording of that, Ryan. We think you're Andre Schiff, who probably spent hundreds of hours practicing this piece. You basically, or sometimes literally sight reading, must be the recording of Andre Schiff, or even funnier, you're doing a cover of Andre Schiff's sonata called Beethoven's Sonata Opus 90. You can't do a cover of a recording of a public domain thing. That doesn't even make sense. But YouTube doesn't know that, so I have to deal with copyright issues anyway, even though I'm going out of my way to not play their recordings of their stuff. I will just play myself clearly sitting here playing piano, playing a piece of music that was written 210 years ago, and I will still deal with copyright issues. And on to the third thing I think is killing classical music, and it's you. That's right, you. I know it's rude to point in some cultures, but it's you, it's me, it's us, it's we. Let me take you on a little history lesson, okay? Warp back in time 150 years, and you live in a small, medium town in Austria, and you see that tonight, a piano player, Ryan Apsher, that's me, by the way, Ryan Apsher is coming to your town to give a piano recital or a piano concert, and you show up, and I play Waldstein Sonata by Beethoven. It completely knock your socks off. You are just amazed you'd never heard that piece before. It's just incredible. You love it. I'm pretty proficient at piano. I gave a pretty good concert and you're just like, I've never been so entertained in my life. This is amazing. You haven't heard anyone play piano like that for like 2 years. You forgot the piano could be played in such a crazy virtuosic way. Fast forward to today. I played the exact same performance and I posted on YouTube. And you think, oh, I mean, it's fine, but Barenboim's recording's better. Or Ryan, why would you play the first movement faster than Schiff? Do you think you're better at interpreting Beethoven than André Schiff? That's the better tempo. Just go with that one. It would be a good performance. The bar, or you could say the standard for the average classical music fan to enjoy a performance of a piece has gotten far too high. It's gotten completely out of control because everything can be compared to the very best there is. But that's really on us as listeners. Like, why can't we enjoy something that's a great performance, that's maybe not the greatest performance ever given ever, the greatest recording ever made ever, but it's a pretty good performance of a piece and we can enjoy listening to it even if it's not your definition of perfect. And you might think if you don't watch my channel that I'm saying this from a point of hurt or I've been offended or this personally affects me a ton. It really doesn't. Not because I don't get offended, but because I don't post full-length videos of myself playing sonatas. I'm more educational, keeping people excited about the crazy cool stuff that happens in classical music and trying to make you better at piano. But I just see it as this epidemic where someone plays piano, they put their heart and soul into working on it for 5 years. Imagine anything else in your life that you worked on for 5 years, and then random people you don't know being like, you're trash. You stink at that. You're no good. But people think, all the time, my students, all the time I say people on YouTube who are like, well, I'm not very good. You are good. You spend 5 years doing this thing that most people have spent 0 years doing. They're really good at piano. And we talk about them like they are really bad. And to use myself as an example, this like never happens in live performance. When I play for people, they're like, wow, that was great because they want to be entertained. They want to hear something musical. And I do that. They're not sitting there on YouTube immediately comparing me to Evgeny Kissin playing on a Steinway concert grand and really high quality recording and they immediately listen back and forth. Like I said, I'm worse than Evgeny Kissin, but think about how discouraging that is of people who really want to get into music and learn it for themselves. If they like see, oh, Ryan is trash and he's played piano, I don't even know. I passed 10,000 hours a long time ago, the magical mark, and I have a master's degree in this thing. Like, if I'm terrible, like, why should you even try? You're 10 or 20 years away from getting to a competent level, right? We just have raised the bar so high. So it's something we can do practically, an actionable step for us today. We're not the publisher company. Maybe some of you publishers are listening and you'll start putting out your recordings where people can use them, all that stuff. But what we can do as people is just start appreciating music, even if it's not in the perfect form. Like, spread some encouragement, get more people to start playing piano, like play for yourself, like have fun listening to music. Don't make like things have to compare to that one recording of your favorite pianist in 1973, which will never be replicated because he slowed down 10% on the development section. And okay, that was exhausting. I hope I said everything I want to say, and it all kind of makes sense when I edit the video later on. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. If you want to watch more videos about classical music, people getting excited about cool stuff, in general, a really encouraging, fun comment section that just loves music, subscribe to the channel. It's a pretty fun space. We like learn stuff. We check out cool pieces, but just in general, go out there, love music. And if you're watching this and you're part of a publishing company, really considering what spreading hype and joy and excitement about what you have could really do for your product.